What is autism? Who gets diagnosed as autistic? And what kinds of support exist? All of this and more in today's video. Let's check it out. I'm going to be discussing autism using the medical model. Big disclaimer, the medical model is far from perfect. According to this model, there is something inherently wrong with autistics. And historically, this rationale has been used to marginalize and oppress us. For most people, the social model of autism is preferable. The social model says that the issue lies not with neurodiversity, but with society's failure to accommodate it. The social model aims to destigmatize autism. The goal of the medical model is to diagnose and to treat. Pathologizing aside, diagnosis can give someone access to disability-related legal protections, to supports, and to services. This is a big topic, and one I hope to explore in further detail in a later video. But for now, let's take a look at my first question. According to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders 5, autism spectrum disorder, or ASD, is a neurological developmental disability. Autism is characterized by ongoing deficits in social communication and social interactions in a range of contexts. Other criteria for autism include restricted, repetitive patterns of behavior, interests, or activities. Autism symptoms manifest in the early development period and typically cause clinically significant impairment in key areas of functioning. To receive a diagnosis of ASD, these symptoms must not be better explained by the presence of intellectual disability or global developmental delay. A diagnosis of ASD is typically accompanied by a severity measurement of level 1, 2, or 3. Level 1 means the individual requires some support, level 2, substantial support, and level 3, very substantial support. You know how I mentioned that the medical model is pathologizing? An example of this is the terminology I just used, such as disability, deficits, symptoms, impairments, and severity. Autism often appears alongside other conditions such as epilepsy, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, sleep problems, gastrointestinal symptoms, anxiety, and depression. Males are diagnosed with autism at 3 times the rate of females. But this doesn't necessarily mean autism isn't as common among females. One study found that autistic females, as a population, are better than males at hiding their autistic traits. This results in fewer diagnoses, later diagnoses in life, and misdiagnoses. It's also been argued that females may present autism in a way that's different from their male counterparts. So, autistic females may be overlooked by current diagnostic measurements due to these measurements being male-centric. Additionally, autistics from racial minority groups are typically less likely to receive a diagnosis for ASD. Instead, they are more likely to receive other diagnoses, such as ADHD and conduct and adjustment disorders. Many conclude that this reflects medical disadvantages experienced by minority groups as a result of structural inequality. But it's important to note that autism traits can go overlooked or can be misinterpreted depending on the sociocultural context. Why are some people autistic and others not? There are no clear answers here. Studies point to a range of environmental risk factors and protective factors. These include advanced parental age, low birth weight, fetal exposure to the epilepsy medication valproate, intake of certain vitamins, maternal autoimmune disorders, environmental toxins, and breastfeeding. Links have been drawn between unique gut microbiota compositions and the development of autism. Other studies have indicated strong genetic influence, concluding that autism is highly inheritable. To get an autism diagnosis, you need to be screened by a trained professional. For children, there's a range of tools. For example, the Modified Checklist for Autism in Toddlers Revised, the Ages and Stages Questionnaire, and the Screening Tool for Autism in Toddlers and Young Children. For older adolescents and adults, the gold standard of autism diagnosis is the Autism Diagnostic Observation Schedule, ADOS-2, Module 4. Professionals are recommended to use this tool in addition to making direct observations and taking patient history. The Autism Diagnostic Interview Revised is another gold standard autism diagnostic tool that is suitable for both children and adults. Again, I want to point out here that these diagnostic tools may be gender biased, as in, they are more likely to detect male autistics than female autistics. When seeking out a diagnosis, it's worth checking to see that the person doing the assessment is using the most current, research-backed screening measures. If seeing a professional is not an option, adults can also use self-reporting tools, such as the Social Responsiveness Scale, 2nd edition, adult form. Additional tools are available for assessing how autism is impacting one's activities of daily living and quality of life. There is no biomedical treatment for autism. That said, medications are available and often prescribed for those who are also experiencing symptoms such as anxiety or depression. But for autism specifically, there are a range of therapies. Applied behavioral analysis, also known as ABA, is one commonly used intervention. ABA is designed to help autistic children with the development of social, communication, and expressive language skills. The dominant strain of ABA has been heavily criticized by autism advocates for violating individual autonomy and even doing direct harm to clients. Critics have also pointed out that there are conflicts of interest among researchers who publish scientific literature in support of ABA as an autism intervention. Clearly, there is room for improvement where it comes to current ABA interventions. However, ABA is one of the few treatments that remains widely accessible. In many US states, health insurance providers are required to cover ABA-related expenses under the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act. One alternative to ABA is Naturalistic Developmental Behavioral Interventions, NDBI. NDBI is more child-centered and provides intrinsic rewards for learning and participating. Other alternative interventions are those that support the development of core skills among autistic children, such as social communication. Other programs exist for young adults, such as the Program for the Education and Enrichment of Relational Skills method. For autistic young people and adults, psychotherapies such as cognitive behavioral therapy are recommended for those who are experiencing anxiety and depression. These are available in both individual and group formats. So there you have it, my brief introduction to autism. Again, I want to stress that much of the content I shared is presented using the medical model. Viewing autism exclusively through this lens is not only limiting, it also fails to give consideration to some of the strengths of being neurodiverse. To learn a little more about these strengths, check the link below. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.